And may I have roll call? Here.
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 Yeah, I noticed that.
I'm seeing a pattern with him.
You think he's not going to be here next month either?
I'm starting to think he might have already checked out. I'm not sure.
The public has the opportunity to directly address the board on any items of interest. Public comments are on items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the board are welcome, subject to a reasonable time limit for each speaker. If you wish to address the board at this time, please state your name, lot number, and reserve your comments to no more than 3 minutes so that others may be allowed to speak. Now, I'm sure that since there's only 3 people out there that you can go more than 3 minutes. Oh, wait a minute, 4. That you can go more than 3 minutes if necessary.
That's not people, that's Wayne.
And the board will take no action on these comments. Each item of business will be introduced by the president. Public comments on those items are open, and the opportunity to speak on those items, the public will have the opportunity to do so. Public comment will then be closed after those discussions, and additional public comment will not be allowed. At the time, the board will discuss the item and then take action if necessary. So the podium is open to public comment if you would like.
See what you started?
Hi there. I actually timed this. It was 3 minutes, 7 seconds, so I'll try to hurry things up.
That just cut into some of your time.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you.
My name is Marlene Hensley, and I own Lot 76. My purpose in addressing the board tonight is to express my sincere appreciation for the work that has been done on Laguna Joaquin. What a difference of late. The lake looks so much better since it was cleaned of debris, dead foliage, and I'm told it may have been dredged a bit. I'm not privy to all the details, but the new fresh water that's been added makes it enjoyable to walk around again without experiencing putrid smells and seeing the algae, and it had become a bit of an embarrassment, actually. My understanding is that there has been a concerted effort to bring RMA and CSD together in addressing the serious problems with respect to the Laguna Joaquin. And for those involved in this effort, you are to be commended for your joint collaboration. And I know I speak for other residents when I say we are deeply thankful. Although there are those who think otherwise, the lake is not enjoyed by a select few who live around it. There is empirical data to support that absolutely everybody who enters RM North has to pass by it. That is literally hundreds every day who are greeted by a lovely, welcoming entrance to this beautiful community. It makes a statement, and it's positioned for exactly this effect. As to its usage, many residents from outlying streets come to walk the lake or ride their bikes on the path, enjoy a time of fishing with the kids, or take a drive in their golf cart around it. I live on the lake and observe how well it is utilized by so many. To take care of this lake and keep it as pristine as possible benefits all of Rancho Murieta. It speaks to this board's commitment to maintaining a quality of neighborhood commensurate with the reputation of Rancho Murieta. I'm well aware of the lake's functionality and the necessary provision of water to the farmers, but a close second has to be its aesthetic quality to the community and its recreational component. I was recently in the company of several other townhome residents, and everyone was so complimentary regarding the improvement in the lake's appearance that it prompted me to speak to you tonight. With the recent completion of resurfacing of the roads around the townhomes, the overall lake's improvement in water quality and appearance, the lack of midge flies, and the detail to landscaping has resulted, in my opinion, in kind of a revitalization. It just looks fresh and clean. It had gotten a little tired. My only concern now is that this current attention to the lake's needs not be limited to a single episode in time when its problems became so dire that extra effort was required to restore it to an acceptable functional and aesthetic level. I hope that in the discussion and planning for Laguna Joaquin that a regular maintenance schedule could be implemented and maintained with respect to not only water quality, but also the areas that border the lake, and the inevitable debris that finds its way into the waters. With that said, I'm very encouraged in the progress to date and the lake's future potential, and with all due respect, I want to say your hard work is greatly appreciated. To coin a phrase, let's make Laguna Joaquin great again.
Whoa, don't leave. I know you mentioned it, because I was going to ask you, there are no midge flies. Did you see a midge fly? Okay.
I haven't seen them since it got cold, since the water level went
Oh,
up.
so that's all we needed
Well,
to
Mother Nature took
Mother
took care of
Nature
that.
helped a great deal, but so did
do. All right,
everything
just
that you've
checking.
been doing. Yeah.
All right, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marlene, thanks for the compliment.
Thank you.
And I want everybody to know I did not pay her to say this.
Right. Yeah. Lunch date is still on tomorrow. Perfect.
And I also want to make it very clear that Rod Hart had a tremendous effort in making that work.
I would add that CSD had just as much of they really stepped up to the plate and did a great job as well.
It was a great example of working together, though. It was really, really great.
Any other public comments? But you raised your hand earlier. Next item on the agenda is the consent calendar, and those items are considered routine and will be approved in one motion. There will be no discussion on the items unless the director specifically requests one to be removed for discussion.
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of the September 19th board meeting. Everybody reviewed that and decided it's all right?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Approved, it's a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the September 9th RMA board meeting. All in favor? Aye. We also had a meeting on September 4th of a budget workshop, which we need to approve.
So moved?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the budget workshop on October 4th. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Checking.
President's report. The board held an executive session earlier this evening and approved minutes of previous meeting and discussed legal invoices and discussed legal issues and contracts. General Manager's report.
The first item I have is the 2018 budget fee schedule and reserve study. The proposed 2018 budget increases assessments from $135 to $139 per member per month, which is a 2.96% increase. The following projects are included in the budget: turf replacement at Stonehouse Park, $25,000; lighting the tennis courts and basketball courts at Riverview Park, $17,000. Doing a partial funding of Escuela Gate access, $28,000. Then there's 3 additional projects that are being funded through exclusive use fees. It's a post and cable at Stonehouse Park for $15,000, concrete curb replacement in Unit 1 for $20,000, and doing some tree pruning for $20,000. So we're looking for a recommendation from the board to approve the 2018 budget fee schedule and reserve study.
Need a motion now? Yes. I move that we approve the 2018 budget, the fee schedule, and the reserve study.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the suggested budget increase. Do we have any discussion?
I have a couple, on the Escuela Gate, that's, we're reserving that for like 4 years.
It would be a 4-year, yes, funding, yes.
Was a 4-year, okay. And on the post and cable at Stonehouse, did we put enough in there to do the whole field?
I do not think so, no. I think we're going to start with the upper soccer field and do what we can, and then in future years, try to do more of it.
The other talk was potentially going to the sports groups and getting that input, and then if it makes more sense to do it all at once, so be it, versus one field, so.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure where that's at, and it might be
Yeah, I
back
don't
on
know.
the youth folks.
And I don't know how far 15 would take us, Rod. Do you have any idea what it would take to go around the park as opposed to?
Not around the whole park, no. But yeah, I mean, that certainly will, I think we'll get a little more than just the soccer field. We'll probably make it all the way up to the access road to the snack shack. But certainly not enough to encompass the whole park.
I guess that was my question there, is once you do the 15, how would you go to the sports groups and ask for money if you don't know how much you need? I mean,
That's part of it. And of course, all the sports groups are nonprofits anyway. So, you could probably get some, but you're not going to get enough to go around the rest of the park. And so I have no idea how far or what it would take to complete it.
Yeah, and I guess in response to Sam's questions, I mean, once we get the project approved, then we'll start doing some more research into the costs. I mean, the biggest cost is probably the cabling, and Gail gave me a contact of a person around Galt that has an elevator company, and sometimes you can pick up used elevator cable, and that could really reduce our costs. So we'll just have to see what we can do on that end as far as materials costs.
But the cable will go up and back.
Yes, it will, yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
keep sliding.
As long as we inspect it. Yeah.
it's really greasy.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I just wondered, I mean, is there a way to figure out it, like it's $50 a post with cable?
I don't have that answer with me right now, but I can get the total cost for the entire park, or total estimate.
Yeah, estimate would be great
Excellent.
at some point.
The only other thing that jumped out at me is, and this kind of goes back to staff. As I was looking at the actual 2015 for workers' comp, and then the budgeted, it's about $25,000 less. So the board says it. I don't know if we say it enough. I don't know if the residents hear it. You folks do a great job. We run a very lean operation. I think even with this percent of an increase, the amount of things we're asking of staff at all levels to get done is quite a bit. And so for what it's worth, just so people again hear it, you make it easy sitting up here. So thank you.
Good point. Did we have any feedback from residents about the $4 increase?
No, I haven't had any calls, no.
Okay.
Does your phone, is it turned on?
No.
Well, okay, we're starting to get here.
Yeah, which number did you get? That one that hasn't been working?
That 1-800, never mind.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the budget increase of $4 to $139 per person. It's a 2.96% increase. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, the next item is the Greens Park update. It's a little bit different than what I put in the packet. Actually, we start our final concrete pours tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, then we'll be done to the concrete. The playground installer actually started last week, and he'll have everything installed except for the climbing rocks by tomorrow, and then the climbing rocks come in next week, and he'll install those, and then we can put the playground fiber in. The asphalt work is still on for October 27th, and we've moved the hydro seeding back to the 30th and 31st of October, and that'll be the final thing that we need to do to get the park completed.
And then we can open it up to
Yep.
the Rugrats, okay. I mean residents, what did I say?
And then the next item is Distinguished Service Award. Rod Hart was presented with the Kiwanis California, Nevada, Hawaii Distinguished Service Award, which was presented by the Kiwanis Club at their installation dinner on September 28th at the Rancho Murieta Country Club. So I'd just like to join you guys in congratulating Rod on getting that reward.
Well deserved, Rod.
Yes, very so.
Why did he get it? I don't, did somebody write in a
He
name?
cleaned up late.
Oh, it was all for the lake?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's
Can't
great,
even tell us
Rod.
what a post and cable is.
Yeah, I know, and so, but he's getting
Give him
this
an
like
award?
3-state award thing. What the
Mr. President,
hell?
do we have some time in the agenda to allow Rod to say a few words?
Oh, absolutely. And you got a half hour, Rod. You got a half hour.
Other than, thank you. I graciously accept that reward for RMA and maintenance crew. I'm a lucky guy, got a great crew that certainly gets a lot of things done, and service the numbers well.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the master trail plan. The master trail plan adopted by the RMA board at the August board meeting was presented to the CSD board at their September 20th board meeting for approval. The CSD board did not approve the master trail plan, but voted to form an ad hoc committee with 2 RMA members, 2 CSD members, and 2 developer members to meet and dialogue on the trail plan. Attaches an article that RanchoMurieta.com did, which can probably tell you better than I could what happened to that meeting. And I guess the action before the board would be to appoint members to that ad hoc committee if you so choose to participate in it.
I'm personally not in favor of creating another committee associated with the Parks Committee at this point. We do have the Parks Committee in place, and they're still active, and I do not see the need to create more confusion and more delay on our master trail plan.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion, we're going right by the NBA on how that master trail plan works, and I just don't see why we would go back and rehash all the stuff. We've spent money on an attorney, we've done our homework, and I personally don't think we should participate in that. I do believe that CSD has very little to do with the trails, and it's kind of between RMA and the developer, and I just can't see why we would renegotiate again all the stuff that we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm not in favor of an ad hoc committee.
I'm the representative for the board on the Parks Development Committee, and I don't think we need another committee. So I think that we should be able to deal with issues that concern the trails and that kind of thing through our Parks Committee, or we can settle it here at the board level, so I'm okay with that.
Greg, it's my understanding that the developer, they submitted a map without consulting or wanting to work with us already, right? They've submitted something.
Yes,
without
they've
wanting
got a map at the county, yes.
Okay.
So based on Alex's comment, it seems appropriate that some other representative of this area should submit a trails map also, and we have approved one, at least an RMA trails map, and maybe we need to consider submitting it and not worrying about whether it's sanctioned by the Parks Committee or not.
Okay. And we did do that last October. We approved a map at that time and submitted it to the county, but we have not submitted the updated map that we have now to the county. And so I think that's a good recommendation, and possibly we'll do a little dialoguing, a little bit more with the CSD directly. And if we don't come to some type of agreement, I agree with you, we probably need to get that map down to the county also.
Okay? Do we need a motion?
Not at this time, no. We'll
Okay.
revisit
So
next
it-
month.
I would say it's pretty much unanimous with the board that we do not get involved in an ad hoc committee for additional trails map.
And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Hey, next up, we have the committee activities, and the first item on the agenda there is the Finance Committee.
Okay, the Finance Committee met on October
Oh, you did?
12.
Oh, I guess we can have a
They
budget now.
just operate really well on their own.
Efficiency there.
Yes, I'm not
Maybe your
saying,
committee ought to take a note from the finance committee.
I was tending to something really important, unfortunately, my husband's health problems. But anyways, Colleen marched on with the Finance Committee, and they met, and they did a great job. So they basically discussed the 2018 proposed budget. That included turf replacement, lighting for the basketball and tennis courts, and the Riverview Park, at Riverview Park. They set aside some money for the Escuela Gate and outlined projects to be funded by the exclusive use fees. They approved proposals for a new booster pump at Stonehouse Park and the purchase of 2 Leday radar guns, but I believe they're going to try one radar gun first and then see how that works, and then go on, hopefully, to purchase a second one if that's going to work well. So you better slow down on that parkway, I'll tell you. We're going to get those speeders in the community. That's kind of what they approved, and they also approved the budget to move on to our approval at the board level. And that's completes my
Do you
report.
need board approval for the pump or the radar gun?
I don't think I do.
That comes in the different committees.
Yeah.
Okay. ARC,
The Architectural Review Committee met on October the 5th. I went deer hunting that day. So thanks, Mark, for taking care of that meeting, you and the general manager. They approved some parking variances, final house plans with a couple of contingencies they had to do. We approved a new roof with Grand Manor Certainteed, approved some deck repair, and they didn't approve the minutes. I'm not exactly sure why. I meant to ask Mark, but we'll take care of that this coming Thursday when we meet again. Anyway, I have some common area leases that were a change of ownership that we need to approve, and so my motion is to approve the existing common area leases for Lot 79T, Lot 236, and Lot 1560. All of these are existing common area leases due to change of ownership, and the owners have paid all the required fees through escrow.
I so move.
it's been moved and seconded to approve the common area leases on lots 79T, 236, and 1560. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That's into my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Communications Committee.
The Communications Committee did not meet.
no, that one she said that it was my husband's health. If I say something, she's gonna get rid of I don't want her to be Debbie Downer on the party.
We're communicating really well.
You know, sitting in this chair, I kind of see things from a little different point of view, and all of a sudden, when I read on the next agenda item, the Compliance Committee, it says Compliance, Grievance, and Safety Committee. So,
Yeah, it's been wrapped in that for quite a while.
but I just saw that.
Oh, okay.
I mean.
I try and
but-
leave
but
a
I
couple
guess
things out, but
The grievance part, I think, is really significant and appropriate tonight.
I think it is too. Thank you. We met on September 11th. You can see where we had some consent for fines and proposed fines. One of the things I want to speak a little bit about is in your packet, you've got a recommendation for the purchase, and Cheryl mentioned it a little bit from the finance side for the, I'm going to call them radar guns.
LiDAR.
I understand what they are, okay? But I'm just calling it a radar gun for the rest of us. I understand that, officer, I'm just saying.
They're called LiDAR because they lie.
They lie. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, they're-
All of ours
Or
are,
that's a story, anyway.
All of ours will be calibrated at 30 no matter what, so you can come to compliance, you can appeal, but just
Is
joking
that-
on
is that a
Just-
brand name
just-
lighter?
Yeah. The intent is, with the new change of philosophy at CSD, security actually came to RMA asking for this device. Our current device is not functioning. The thought process is that the compliance would have one and CSD would have the other. Should one go down, then the other can use it, and et cetera, et cetera. We've got funds in the camera account. There's talk, and we're going to get there on the trailers, having cameras, having video. I expect that to be tied into the overall package when CSD is able to tell us what that backbone looks like, so that'll be that component. So it's a multi-faceted approach here, but basically what I'm asking for is the 12,000 now, and we get the LiDAR guns both to CSD and to compliance, and a lot of it, like I said, kind of drove my thought process is when CSD said, please, we want to help. And that's a complete different philosophy than what we've had in the last year. And so my thought process is for, the 6,000 or so, or, half of it, I think it's a good use of our money for the enforcement side of what one of our concerns are here, safety, and that's a speeding in the community. And I won't go into the details, but it's going to address some of the appeals issues with people questioning integrity of staff and security and all those other things with the printout and picture and those types of things. So my recommendation to you folks is that we approve this, still understanding that radar trailer and that camera process is still ongoing. We're just kind of waiting for CSD at this point to kind of tie in that backbone portion of it, so we know what type of equipment to buy on the trailers. So
Has this gone through finance?
It went
Yeah.
through finance.
And, okay. I was reading instead of listening.
and I would too. I would not listen to
So,
me.
so are you gonna, are we
Make-
purchasing two or just one?
That is my recommendation, is that we purchase two.
And the,
So the funds are there.
Yeah,
Finance
Finance Committee
Committee
had a
approved one.
recommendation that you purchase one, try it out, and if it was what you thought it was, then purchase a second one. So that's the difference, yeah.
Is there, does the manufacturer come out and train officers on how to use the device?
Point and shoot, isn't it?
He doesn't have any bullets.
Well, since we're not a big agency like the CHP or SACPD, they probably won't unless we want to pay for it.
We trained our own, so.
Well, and it's
But
it's not
You
hard.
trained your own, but your own was trained by the manufacturer.
Oh, no, they handed me that and said, here's your tuning forks, go out there and work radar in this area.
So what I'm getting at is these devices are great. They are, and just like you said, they will address a lot of these issues, but the device honestly is only as good as the people that are using it. They have to be calibrated at certain intervals. And then also, I know some issues that we've had is the data collection and storage, as far as it's taking the picture, it's recording all this stuff. So there has to be a mechanism or protocols in place for the storage of that data. So when we need to recall it for appeals and things like that, that it's available to the committee in a timely manner. And so, again,
And we've got that in place.
okay, that was just my concern.
Yeah.
If I understood, and I'll translate for my colleague here, it sounds like the Commissioner of the Highway Patrol will be helping us train our employees.
Yes, I heard him
If I
volunteer
understood
also,
that
which is lovely.
Yeah.
What? I'm an inside guy.
You know,
the
that was-
commissioner.
That was
I'm
an
an
excellent
inside- I'm an inside
translation. I thought it'd be the governor.
So do we need a motion to approve the purchase of,
Well, let's go back to
okay,
Greg's. If you're saying, why don't we buy one and try it out and see how it works? I guess my thinking was to make a motion to buy two guns, but only buy one to see how everything works, in case we have to send it back. Is that your thinking?
That's what one committee member said at Finance.
Oh,
They didn't have a quorum. There's only two of them.
you.
So we could just
you
buy
wanna make a
both of them.
motion, or,
Well, I already made a motion to purchase the two.
oh, you did?
Yeah.
That was your recommendation.
Oh, I thought it was a motion.
Okay, we'll
I'll second
consider
it.
that a motion.
I'll second his recommended motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to purchase two LiDAR laser guns at a cost of $12,998.22.
$89.
$89.22, thank you. Any more discussion?
I'm going to kind of stay with my Finance Committee's recommendation, so I'll,
No, and it's appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll oppose.
Okay.
Is that it?
That's all
You're
I
still-
have for compliance, Mr. President.
Okay. Governing docs. Nope, don't think governing docs met, so maintenance, that's me.
Just cruising through.
Maintenance committee met on October 9th, and we approved the minutes of the previous meeting on September 11th. We discussed the project list, we discussed the pump replacement, and I think we need a motion on that one, don't we? So it's replacing the booster pump at Stonehouse Park, and that's at a cost of $9,500, and that is in the reserve funds, is that correct?
Correct.
Is there, I'm just looking at this Kirby pumps, 9,500, then I look at custom pumps and power company, it's
different.
27,000. Are they bidding on the same pump?
They are, yeah, it's is a real bid, and I don't want to do the work bid. If you look at Kirby Pump's cost, we got that cost from him back in June. And I can tell you that I've had two different staff members diligently working on trying to get two additional bids for installing this pump. And as a matter of fact, the unrealistic bid is the person that originally installed that pump many years ago. But it is apples to oranges in regards to equipment and labor, just unrealistic bid number.
Are you going to install them, or are they?
They will.
Wow.
And I guess I will go on to, I talked about a little bit at Finance Committee as well. Walt Kirby and Kirby Pumps has been doing all of our pump work, CSD's pump work, and the country club's pump work since I've been here. So even if the bids were close, he's certainly the one that I'd feel most comfortable contracting with.
Okay.
And is it just it's run its lifespan, or is this because of the watering process?
It has run its lifespan. However, it's due for replacement, fortunately, this year.
Okay.
But another thing that happened this year is we had a broken main line prior to that pump, and a lot of gravel and rock got into that pump, or into that line, which pulled it through the pump.
Yep.
So it's operating probably at about 30-40% efficiency right now. So makes it quite difficult to get everything watered in the time frames that we need to water up there.
Can we rebuild that pump? Is that something that would be worthwhile as a backup in case there's another broken line or something?
It is something that we've done numerous times on the large pumps for Laguna Joaquin. To rebuild that small pump, he says, Walt says, probably is not worth doing. It probably cost you just about the same amount or maybe more.
No. Okay.
So we're looking for a motion to approve the purchase of a Kirby pump to replace the booster pump at Stonehouse Park for $9,500.
So moved.
Been
Second.
moved, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The next is replacing the playground equipment at Lake Clementia. And that again is within the reserve funds?
Yeah, and to start that process, we went ahead and took that replacement, which again is due for replacement in the reserves, to Maintenance Committee. Now, at this point, we will go out to at least 3 different manufacturers and get their ideas of what they can do and stay within those budget constraints. So before it comes to the board or even Finance Committee for approval, we're going to send it to REC and ARC for them to come up with what should be there. And then at that point, it'll go back to the Finance Committee for approval and the board.
Rod, I don't play on that playground. Is it just getting old or?
Yeah,
There's just swings there right now, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I seen a guy look just like you out there.
yeah, the one that's there, actually, we do annual inspections on them, and it has considerable amount of metal fatigue at the base where it goes into the ground. So yeah, it's reached its useful life.
It's not unsafe at this point?
No, we would take it down. We've done a couple of repairs to it, but you can't see you can't see everything. So yeah, it's at the point where it just needs to be replaced. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen some mock-ups of some suggested replacements, and it's putting that playground into the 21st century.
Hey, Cheryl, Rod's asked me to stay off of it just until we get it, so.
So what you're asking for is an approval to just proceed with this idea and with a not to exceed $18,530?
No, there's no action item today from the board.
Okay. Okay. I guess it was an action item on the maintenance committee. That's what I'm misreading. And then we talked about the asphalt work that's currently, and Rod give us an update on that, and irrigation, and goals of the post and cable fencing, and purchase of asphalt crack filling machine, and the tree pruning and all that are on the goals for 2018. Anything else you'd like to add to that, Rod?
Nope.
Okay, so with that said, the nominating committee's up next.
Thank you. We met on September 14th to finalize the candidate questions, which went out shortly thereafter. As we know, was candidates night last night. I just need a point of clarification. I don't know where the rumor started that there was a host bar by CSD, but just there, I don't know who started that, but there wasn't, just for the records.
I checked, I couldn't find it.
I just want to make sure that's cleared up. We had candidates night. Thank you for everyone that showed up. Good luck to the candidates. I would ask that you vote early, not necessarily often. I know that we've got 4 gifts, 2 prizes, 7 prizes if you get in by this afternoon, right? No. Well, when was the cutoff?
November 29th at noon.
Have you
Okay.
mailed the ballot yet?
It's on November 29th.
Right. So you'll see the ballots, and I just reminded the candidates, signs go on private property, not RMA. We only have 4 candidates. So with that, we're into the election cycle. I gave the ground rules as I've given the other board members, no pulling hair, no name calling, the basic stuff. So that's the end of my report.
And we are missing, we had originally 5 candidates.
Yes, and thank you. Mr. Wolf notified us, he's got some family issues that he needs to take care of. So he had been in contact with Denise. For those of us out on viewing this, his name is on the ballot because we did go to print. The only question I don't know is if he wins, does he have to do it? That's the only part I don't understand. So with that said,
Can
yes.
we put a little slip of paper in what we mail saying this is not,
No, because all of that's already been packaged
Oh,
up
okay.
and ready to go. So we're
It has to
kind
go
of
to the
stuck.
mail house way early to
Yeah.
get all of it done.
So, but, and again, I mean, he called as soon as he realized and gave us a statement and those types of things, so. That's all I have.
Thank you. Recreation Committee.
well, thank you, Mr. President. This should be short and sweet. The Recreation Committee did not indeed meet last month. However, I would like to invite everybody to Bingo Night. Bingo Night is coming up. Dress up. It's a Halloween theme.
It's October 27th, that's Friday night at 6 o'clock. Call Barb at the office for a reservation. We have a great caller that night. Alex?
Oh. I thought you were going to have Tim do it this time.
No.
That was vetoed.
Just one final parting,
Suggested veto.
Tim, if you come out, I'll let you call a number.
Perfect. Any number I want?
Is there a bar?
And then the last thing I'd like to announce is on December 6th, we're having the shopping trip to San Francisco. Call RMA to reserve your seat. We've been taking reservations for about 3 weeks now. Probably have 40 to 50.
How many buses are going to?
It depends. We've taken usually between 3 and 4.
And this is a round trip, right? Not the one way that I got on?
For most people.
No, I'm just.
Not everyone.
Is that funny to you? See, it wasn't funny when they left me.
What was the date on that again?
December 6th.
6.
You might be late going to work that day.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe they didn't discuss how that works for you?
The Wednesday?
And that's the end of Alex's report.
I'm glad he did it. Jeez, strong work, Alex.
The next board meeting will be Tuesday, November 21st, and the annual meeting will be Thursday, November 30th. That's 7 o'clock, and the next board meeting will be 6:30 here. And no one else has anything, we are adjourned.
Into closed session.
And we're going back in
Yeah, we're
session.
going-